What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Podcast. Today I have a very special guest. He might not need introduction, or he may need introduction, but introduce yourself so that guys know who I'm talking about.
Absolutely. What do you mean? Might not need it. I'm not that there, man. Let's move slowly. My name is juniornyongo, and I am an actor, musician, model, and DJ. Yeah.
That's quite like a big description of like all the things that you have going on.
Big description for a big man, you know what I'm saying?
So I mean, I think we've never like really gotten like time to just sit down and have a convo. We're talking about that, like, you know, at social scenes we just, you know, shake hands.
Yeah, the first time we met was Big Brunch.
Oh yeah, you recorded my first drone landing and takeoff.
Ooh, that's right. That's right.
Before it got lost.
Oh, but did you find it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you found
it after like 2 hours. Everybody was just like already too tired of looking for it, so I just kept on. I tipped the watches and then they helped me, like, you know, find it. Yeah. So, but enough of the drone shots and everything.
Yeah.
Let's chop it down. The Kisscapade's podcast is about like the 4 pillars of life. And I'm guessing like kind of like everybody always has like a different point of view or just journey.
Yeah.
No matter how much we would want it to be the same. Everybody just is brought up in a different way.
Absolutely. Everyone has their own context, their own you know, upbringing and way in which they view the world.
Experiences as well.
Yeah.
I think you're the only person that I know who's taken a picture with Beyonce. Oprah, Snoop, Samuel L. Jackson, and who else? Yeah, I don't think I know anybody else who's done that. But I'm just saying, you know, let's just go with maybe like just like your upbringing. Like, what did you want to be when you grew up?
When I was a kid?
When you were a kid.
Okay.
Because, you know, you have like, maybe you had like that doctor, lawyer kind of theme. What did you want to be when you grew up?
I mean, here's the thing, man. Like, I have incredibly supportive parents, and so they fostered all my various interests. Yeah. Like, they would be changing weekly, you know. one week, you know, I'm playing golf with my dad, and you know, the other week I'm interested in chess. I played chess for a while, so I did a lot of things. But I remember, I guess my most distinct early desire was to be a pilot. Yeah. Okay. I think if I could remember correctly.
And then what happened to that dream?
Very fascinated with flying. Yeah. I don't know. It's like it flitted away. But I was always like very artistically inclined. Interested in just like, you know, performance arts, just like performing arts and telling stories and stuff like that, you know, music, whether it was through music or whatever. And but like then,
and even for me, the thing, sorry to interrupt you, I do that a lot, and people keep telling me on the podcast, because like if I have something on my mind, if I don't speak it like in 2 seconds,
it's gone.
Like it's gone. It's gone. So I kind of like, but that's my thing, but you know. So I'm apologizing in advance, just in case it happens again. So what's like your kind of like main focus now? Because like even for me, I've never like really figured it out. By just like the few times that we've met, I've seen you doing like a DJ set. And I've seen a bit of just maybe from your post on Instagram, something to do with like acting. So what's like your main focus now?
Well, my main focus
if somebody asked you right now what you do, what
I would say I'm an actor. I mean,
an actor.
I have been for a while. I'm an actor, and I have other sub passions, you know, things that I do on the side. I obviously don't limit myself, but that's what I would do. That's what I do professionally. Yeah.
Did you go to school to study it?
So I just did a general liberal arts degree in Orlando.
What's that?
Liberal arts. It's just a general degree. It's just a BFA, like bachelor.
Okay. Yeah. In acting now.
I mean, my major was theater and my minor was digital arts. But like I did a range in the States, like in a liberal arts program, you can do a range of.
Sorry. It's all good.
Yeah, I speak in my
technical error there, guys. It's all good.
It's not like the UK where you like specialize and just do that. You can do a range of things. So I did everything from like Russian. I took 2 years of Russian.
Russian what?
Language.
Jeez, you can speak Russian?
A little bit. I mean, it's been a while since I've been in
class.
Oh
yeah,
so.
yeah. Okay. Uh-huh.
But yeah, when I was doing it, I could speak. I was gonna go there, but then I was like, I looked at my hand and I was like, see, the way my melanin is set up, I'm not really sure I'm trying to find myself in Russia right now.
It's not that bad. I hear. Do you have friends who are there?
No, I have family who've been to Russia.
Oh yeah.
And
their experience is not.
Yeah, the experience. Not that it's terrible, but like, it's not like you.
Yeah. It's like.
Anyway, yeah. So
I know what you're
everything from like Russian to astronomy, like I did a bunch of classes, and that's what I wanted to. Even though I knew going into college that I want to be an actor, I didn't want to like specialize too quickly. I still had a lot of things that I wanted to explore about myself. And I played football as well in uni. So. Yeah.
Football, like soccer or American
soccer.
Football?
What is soccer, man? Of course.
Thinking if you say that in the States.
I know, but like I would say American football. Yo, I was so vehement against that, man. Like, I'm not gonna call football soccer. I'm sorry.
But I think that's what differentiates. And how is it go? Because I've seen you tag a lot when you're tagging locations, like on your Instagram.
Yeah.
I see a lot of a consistency on what location. Orlando Shakes. Is it a theater or is it like?
Yeah, that's a theater.
That's a theater.
Is a theater.
Is that where you go to do like the performances or?
Well, that's where I did my last play.
Your last play.
Yeah.
That's in the school.
No, it's a theater. It's a regional theater.
Or like this is an actual play that people come and see, or it's rehearsals.
Yes.
And I wouldn't know, bro.
No, I
wouldn't
know.
I'm just trying to figure it out. In fact,
yeah.
I was almost thinking, like when I was writing down my notes, I was writing like Orlando Shakes is like a play.
No, Orlando Shakes is a theater.
Because I was thinking like, how comes this play never ends, man? Junior, you've been doing this play for the longest time, and now that you're saying it, now it makes sense.
So like, I think of it like Kenya National Theatre, like it's a theater.
Ah, okay.
So Orlando Shakes is a theater, and I went back in December for Hamlet.
Yeah.
Do you know Hamlet?
No.
Okay, Hamlet.
I don't.
Do you know who William Shakespeare?
Thanks for putting me on blast.
No, I was just asking.
No.
Okay.
No, yeah.
Hamlet is a play by William Shakespeare. Do you know who Shakespeare is?
Yeah. Okay. Romeo and Juliet, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Come on, Junior.
Okay, no.
You're sending shots.
I'm not sending shots.
You are.
And I'm just.
But yeah. Okay, that's one.
I'm trying to gauge where
where
you are.
Okay, yeah. So it's one of his plays,
it's
right?
It's his most famous play.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, it's his
famous than Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah, it's bigger than that.
Okay.
I mean, Romeo and Juliet is, I guess,
he's a classic.
I mean, yeah, yes.
No, why are you laughing?
No, I'm not laughing. Yeah, fine. For all intents and purposes, sure, Romeo and Juliet is his most famous.
Or mainstream, I guess, right?
Yeah, I guess so. But I mean, Hamlet is his biggest play. Like a lot of things stories that you think are based on Hamlet.
Oh,
like,
based around that.
Like Lion King is very loosely based on Hamlet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So how's your experience doing that? Because I know you're saying like, acting is like your main like passion and drive, I guess. Do you think you find more fun? Do you enjoy it more doing like the theaters or kind of like TV? What do you think would be more fun for you?
I think they satisfy and nourish a different part of an actor's soul. They're very different. Just the same way rugby sevens is different to 15s.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, like, I think there's joys in both. So I don't know. I guess they're comparable only because it's like you're an actor, but other than that, I think it serves different purposes.
It's almost the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and then when it just comes to acting, man, because I think I attempted like once or twice, and I was like, yo, bro, this is just takes too much work, man.
Yeah.
First of all, just what was it? What made me quit? I think the lines. I was just given like a pamphlet of, and then I was like, yo, this is not my shit.
Yeah.
Like, yo, like not unless we're doing the, what is it called? I've seen it also like really popular now online. Is it improv?
Yeah.
That's where you don't use like scripts or just paint scenarios, and that, I think that would is something like I'd be leaning more towards.
Which also takes an incredible amount of skill, though.
Of course, I cannot deny that. I cannot deny that. Of course, script is there to guide you. But what would you say was like just the hardest bit that you were finding before, like you got comfortable like actually doing it? Because I can actually tell, just like from, you don't post like the snippet videos, but from just like pictures that you post, you seem very comfortable in all like the play situations that you've been put in. Like what was the most like challenging part, or you'd say like, you know, it took me some time to get used to doing this?
I mean, think about it, like even just like with your podcast and your, you know, videography and stuff.
Yeah.
Like it's even though you're comfortable, you're constantly learning, you know, you're constantly challenging yourself.
Yeah.
So things like line memorization, I mean, that's sort of like, that'll always happen. You know, that's not a challenge to me anymore. I think each role has its own challenges and demands. So it's tough to compare each one from the last. You're constantly building upon, you know, things. So like, for example, Hamlet, where I was playing Hamlet, was my first role as professional actor. So this was my first professional contract, you know. And it was, obviously this was my first time also in a lead role, right? So whereas before, you know, I had done, you know, supporting roles and whatever, like a few lines here and there, you know, getting to carry, blah blah blah. This was completely a whole different it's a whole different ballgame. So the whole thing was challenging. We had 4 weeks of rehearsal, and then we opened and we had a run of like 2 months, 49 shows. So
shit.
Yeah, 7 shows a week.
Every single day.
Yeah, Tuesday to Sunday, Monday off. Yeah.
Jeez. And I mean, if you're just have you done any of that like in Nairobi? Have you tried?
No, man. sorry.
No.
That sounds
listen, your facial expression just says quite a lot. You're like, no, man. But what do you think if you're just to compare like just what's happening out there and what's happening currently like in the country? Just if you're to do like a comparison, if somebody who's young and they're saying, you know what, I'd want to get into this.
Yeah.
Just terms of comparison, what do you think?
I guess because the latter part of my adult life has mostly been spent away. I'm not really sure of the infrastructure and how things work in Nairobi. So I know there's a lot of politics in all areas of life, whether it's actual politics, business, or arts. You know that.
Yeah.
And so I think right now we are really kind of in a creative renaissance.
What does renaissance mean?
Like,
I posted something else on Instagram last week, like, you know, when guests throw in words that I don't, and then people can actually see on my face that I don't. And then you might actually ask me, like, do you know what renaissance means? So I'd rather ask you before you do that to me.
Totally. I'm not going to ask.
Again.
No, I was...
No, yeah. Come on.
I was just trying to gauge where you are. Okay.
Yeah.
Renaissance or Renaissance, it's basically like a resurgence of, like... coming into it again, you know, because we've had
evolving. It was good.
Yeah,
went
exactly.
Down, and then now like
okay. Like a revival, kind of.
Got you.
You know, because like there's been a time when, you know, our theater was great with
it was huge
with Phoenix.
Yeah.
You know, and James Falkland, you know, rest in peace. Who was running that theater was like, you know, there was some good plays on. You know, music was great. At some point, you know,
we used to take people for dates there, or just like, you know, let's actually go to the theater and
I'm talking about like in all areas, you know, there really was like an artistic, just like bubble of flourishing. And so I feel like, okay. I feel like
what do you want to say something?
No, not at all.
You sure?
I am very excited about this spread.
This guy.
No, I find it very hard to hide my reactions to things.
Clearly.
No, I just saw the toast and I was just like, okay, cool.
Yeah. So you're talking about what was the word again?
The Renaissance.
Yeah.
Okay.
The rhinoceros of
the rhinoceros of
theater.
art and culture in Nairobi.
Yeah, like sort of it just bouncing back to where it was,
like
right?
musically, like even just this weekend, having Masero here.
Yeah.
And Blinky.
Wait, did you go to the concert?
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
I was there as well.
Oh, you were?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah,
and that kind of performance is very rare.
Exactly.
In Kenya,
especially, and then honestly, like in a serendipitous like way for Blinky to close for him. That's like crazy. Awesome,
yeah,
bro.
That was crazy.
And I feel like we need to really be championing our own the way we really champion like other people out there. Because if I'm gonna be completely honest, man, Blinky really just killed it, bro. Like
his performance,
and he is in a really he's in a tier of his own.
I think he's underrated.
Absolutely.
Because I don't see like these huge corporates always like, looking for Blinky.
Yeah.
They're always bringing in artists from, SA, Nigeria and all this kind of stuff. But he's really, really good.
He's amazing. His band is amazing.
Yeah.
Just musician.
And he's been doing it for like the longest time if you think about it. Blinky is on... wasn't he part of...
Just a Band, yeah.
Yeah. I also need to bring him in to talk about what happened to Just a Band.
Absolutely. I mean,
because
they just took a hiatus and to work on their own individual projects and stuff.
Even
which
their
is
videos,
awesome.
How they used to do their promos and everything was just very interesting. Okay, now let's get back to just like a lot of.
we were talking about like the comparison, right?
Oh yeah.
And so I feel like let me just speak. In terms of music, right now, I think in terms of industries, like creative industries, is really taking off. But I don't want to speak too much on theater and how acting is working here because like I've just been unplugged from it for too long. But we don't have an infrastructure in place. Whereas like let's say for example. Even just how I got the Hamlet role, there's a casting call for auditions, so you can go and audition for something. I never hear about anything auditioning wise here.
I think they're always selected before
before
that comes
exactly.
out.
That's why I was saying about the bureaucracy, the politics.
Yeah.
The people who are cast are always like someone who knows someone who knows someone, and that's always the case anywhere worldwide, of course.
Yeah,
having a foot in the door and then like being able to now prove your worth. That's fine, but it's just like. The scale is like way tipped,
Basically, if like you're an upcoming or somebody who aspires, like you might just actually quit before you even think of starting actually just pursuing like that dream.
Totally, man.
And
and part of it is because we don't have unions to protect the creative people,
Yeah.
So there's creatives can be exploited because there's no unions to protect them.
Yeah.
So yeah,
you see the hashtags every other time. Pay Kenyan actresses, pay Kenyan models.
Exactly.
Play Kenyan music. Yeah. So it's I don't know what we can do about it, but I think even from like what you've mentioned from last weekend's concert, you'd realize like actually a lot of young people appreciate like that kind of music, but it's just that we don't get to experience that like a lot. And it's gonna take some time, but maybe we'll get there. We'll get there. Baby steps.
We'll get there. Yeah. So when I'm here, I think because I have such a range of passions, I think the best use of my time would be pursuing things where I know I can not necessarily not be frustrated, but like I can express myself more freely without dealing with all the other things. Like, it's already hard being a creative person in Nairobi. You know?
Yeah.
So I'm a DJ, which that's something I had been meaning to do for start for a really long time. And in October, I just decided, you know what, I'm just gonna start.
Let me start doing it.
Yeah. And so that plus I also play the saxophone as well. So
oh shit, you play the saxophone?
Yeah.
Like proper?
Yeah, I've been playing for 10 years.
Okay. Now here's the thing. I'm just asking though. I like my podcast needs something like for the intro.
Okay.
And I've been trying to look for somebody who can do something like just edgy.
Yeah.
And first of all, I don't know what your rates are, because if there's any other way, if there's any other way, I can pay for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There can always be an exchange of services.
Exactly.
I mean, we're creative people.
Yeah.
We all need each
other. So if there's a way we can wiggle out something.
Of course.
I need an intro from. Do you have a saxophone?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, I need an intro, bro.
Okay.
Long story short, I need an intro from my podcast. Yeah.
You went on a tangent, and all you could have said was, "Bro, I need an intro."
I need It's because if I put you maybe on the spot, like on the podcast, now the next few episodes, people can start understanding. Where did this nice intro come from?
And then by the time we get to this episode, guys will be like, "Oh,
this makes sense." Now I understand.
Like this, a callback.
But you got me, bro, on this one.
I got you.
Don't lie to me.
I'm not lying to you.
Okay. The intro is done, guys.
The intro is done.
Wait for it. When it just comes to things concerning like just art, it's a bit different. Like, let's say on just how maybe parents can support.
Yeah.
But do you think, like, let's say for your case, you really do have how can I say? Like, a lot of people from your family have set like blueprints in like almost every category that they touch on. Do you feel like you have like pressure to meet like certain standards or expectations? Because
not at all, man.
No, just easy. Junior, are you the last born?
Yeah, I'm the last one. Yeah.
Okay, so no pressure, man. It'd be
mean,
like, that's Junior.
Exactly. Like, there's no pressure. Everyone has their own path.
Yeah.
Everyone reaches where they're going to reach at their own given time. What's yours is yours. That's just a fact.
True.
What's yours is yours, and no one could take that from you. And so each person is created with their own vision, their own path, fate, whatever you want to call it,
Yeah.
And so no, I don't feel the pressure. Yeah.
That's
interesting. There's no pressure.
No.
Yeah.
But do you feel like you need to meet certain like
Absolutely not.
That's a nice way of just waking up in the morning.
Of course. Like, the things that stress me is like, man.
Yeah.
It's more, how can I execute these things I have in my head?
Yeah.
Not for who should I execute them for.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I'm feeding my own soul. At the end of the day, when I go to sleep, it's my eyes that are closing. I'm not closing your eyes. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think if you just approach life that way, you can be very at peace.
Because like, I've brought some people on the podcast, and some of them even are like doing, let's say, uni courses. And they're saying that they're actually doing it just so that, their parents can be happy, and then probably after like 7 or 8 years, they'll start pursuing their own passion. And I'm like, that's crazy. That's a whole 8 years that if you explain and just, not even explain. I mean, if you just do your thing and let them see like why this makes sense, you'll save a lot of time, I guess. And whatever you're passionate about, you'll definitely be 8 years ahead of the time that you had wasted.
Absolutely.
And
the thing is, what I say to that is, I can't knock anyone who does that.
Yeah.
Because, like we said at the beginning, everyone is brought up with their own context or whatever, and obviously doing something for someone else. I personally wouldn't do that. But I can't fault anyone that does, who wants to make their parents proud, who wants to, like that's
or waste their money,
or waste their money. And like what, you're doing a law degree, but you want to be like a musician or whatever. Who's to say that law degree won't help you? Of course it will.
It might come to play.
It might come, whether it's with a copyright law or whatever, like, and you get into a contract with someone, like, let's say you sign a big deal and you're seeing the papers and you're like, hey, wait a minute, something is not adding up. And the thing that triggers that in your mind is the training that you had. You know? And so, is there really wasting money? Any skill that you're adding, is that really a waste? So to me, I say that like, fine, you might be convincing yourself that you're just doing this for your parents, but having that in your toolbox, man, having a skill like that in your toolbox, I can't fault that.
Actually, how you've put it actually makes more sense than how I was looking at it. Just from your Instagram, I can say, because how I normally do my research is like, the only way I can do it is like going through someone's Instagram
photos.
Okay. Yeah, so you just scroll down. You don't post a lot of videos though.
No.
Yeah. So I can see like just a history of like, just I can see how close you are with your sister. And definitely, if you say like, because I was like, if you don't say your sister is your source of inspiration, be like, this bastard, man. Like, come on.
No, I mean, like, family is really big to me, and I have 4 sisters, and they each are very, like, influential in my life, and all the women in my life for sure. Like, it's basically I've had 5 moms. Having 4.
Oh wait, you're the only.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I've basically had 5 moms. Growing up, and for sure they've always kept me focused or whatever. So yeah, I definitely look up to them 100%.
Just still on that context, when it comes to art, whether you're a musician, actor, DJ, all these things that you've mentioned, they will always kind of like take you kind of like slightly, they would take you away from your family. Yeah. Because you're supposed to be on tour. Right. If you're talking about doing these plays in different states and everything, if you're a DJ, of course, definitely means touring. Yeah. Whether it's music, how do you deal with that? How, like, are you that kind of person, like, you don't fall homesick? You're good with, because you're always like even a prime example would be like, how much time you spend away from just like the country, being away from like your parents. Yeah. How do you deal with that? You don't fall homesick, or you just?
No, for sure. I mean, for sure, I feel homesick. I mean, I miss my people here a lot, but I think I'm also very fortunate, that I get to see my parents often, because whether it's conferences that my parents are doing in the States or whatever, they always make the time to come see me, and like, and things like that. So in that regard, I think, but for sure, I want also obviously want to get to a point, where, like, I think everyone does, being financially stable enough to see your family whenever you want to.
Anytime, like, somebody like calls, you can just.
To me, that's literally the only allure of being, really financially successful, is just being able to see my family whenever I want to. Yeah.
And family is big, man. That's what shapes us. Like, if you're fortunate enough to have like those people around you,
of course,
they shape us, and they just kind of like guide us when we feel like a bit lost or lonely.
Totally, man.
Yeah.
Because they've known you
since you're like Adam, a kid, man. Exactly. And now they're seeing you evolve to this, like, kind of person who's like, we're not expecting, Junior to grow dreads, or how do they feel about like maybe your dreads?
I mean, so many people in my family have dreads, so.
Oh, that's like a family thing as well.
It's not a family thing, but like it was not it's not random.
I think the first time my mom saw me like just with braided hair, she was like going crazy. She was crying.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she told me, if you don't chop your hair, I won't stop crying. I was like, yo, come on. There's no way you can cry for 24 hours. Yeah. It's not possible. But after a while, she just got used to it and everything.
Yeah.
Okay, and then also on that, just maybe context. Let's talk about like your modeling thing as well.
Uh-huh.
Do you want to talk about it?
I mean, that's like,
minimal?
Yeah.
Experimental?
Exactly, experimental, more so than anything. It's a case of circumstance. It's circumstantial more than pursuit, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So like I say I'm a model so that if there's like anyone who is looking like wants to work with me as a muse, at least they know that that's something that I'm interested in.
And you do have like that African kind of look that a lot of people are using right now in the States, whether it be these high-end fashions. You see like A$AP Rocky. There's that like kind of like African feel and just like free spirit kind of.
Yeah, but I've not done really any modeling work in like the States. I was talking mainly like here, because like I think there's such like a lot of gifted photographers in this country, including my friend. The Kiss Bandit.
Oh yeah.
Quick plug.
Okay. Plug there.
Yeah, and so I think it's just freeing yourself and opening yourself to different possibilities and creative outlets. To me, that's important. Not limiting myself.
Because you've done some crazy shoots as well.
Yeah.
And I think like people are just like, yo, we still don't understand what he's doing.
Right.
Like, was that like just something that you were experimenting with, or?
And I think that's
just
interesting.
Pushing the envelope.
Yeah, I mean it's not like I set out to today. I'm gonna push the envelope.
You're not ruffling anyone's feathers. It's just like you just trying.
Yeah, I'm expressing myself however I want to, and first of all, that makes me laugh that. You're saying, people are saying that. It's just funny.
Because why I'm saying that. Because,
right.
There's nothing that Kenyans love more like just
gossip.
Gossip, man.
Yeah,
gossip. And, it's like the one thing, like they're always looking for something to talk about like the next week.
Yeah.
So when I say people, it's actually people because I don't know them.
Of course.
I don't know these people.
No, that's what I guess makes me laugh, like that people are... that when you say people are talking about me, I mean it's like such a foreign concept to me. But yeah, no, I think that's interesting. Like that you say that people don't know what I'm doing or whatever, and that's to me that's awesome because it's like I keep people guessing. Like in terms of I don't need everyone to know like specifically what my passions are. Like when people say stay in your lane, that's like such a joke to me because it's like you first of all, number one, you're driving your own car. Well, what business do you have with the car I'm driving? Whether I want to overtake you and change lanes, that's up to me. You know what I'm saying?
True.
So
but when it just comes to like just expression and that kind of thing, how important is it to you? Because like I'm just saying, like it's the only way for me I can express myself is like through shooting videos, creating like those kind of creative, crazy concepts.
Yeah.
Is there a place where you draw the line, or you just like I'm just doing my thing, man?
I'm just doing my thing. Yeah.
Because I'm guessing, you know what? I see like maybe in future, I see you writing like those crazy ass scripts that people are like, yo, man, do you write?
Yeah, I've started to write a little bit.
Yeah, I think you'd write like the most craziest scripts that people would be. And we always need that shock value at times, I guess, or I don't know.
Yeah.
I think we need it.
Shock
Just
is good.
Are you a fan of Game of Thrones?
Totally, man.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, at times we always need those kinds of things. And I think a lot of people forget to understand that that's what makes art.
Exactly,
art.
Man. Like,
yeah.
and that's why I guess it was tough for me to, I mean, at the end of the day, anyway, everyone has their own opinion, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But like, it was hard for me to understand like the frustration. Oh, not understand the frustration, but rather like get why people were so mad with episode 3. And to me, it's like good writing subverts expectations.
Yep.
So we've already had an episode or 2, Red Wedding and the one where Cersei blows up the crypt, where everyone dies.
Slaughter.
Why would they do that again?
Yeah.
You know, you have to also think, like, these writers for 9 or so years have constantly pushed the envelope in terms of what the, TV making is, you know? And
True.
so, why would they disappoint you now?
Yeah.
In terms of subverting your expectations. They do what you need, not what you want. So you want, because the previous episode was so happy, fine, the next episode everyone should die. That's too obvious, man. You know?
Yeah.
And it's like, I will judge this season at the end. There's no way to judge it right now.
Right now we can't. But it's so unpredictable, man.
It is, and isn't that amazing?
It is.
Did you see Arya killing the Night King coming? Did you see that coming? I didn't see that coming.
No, because that's the thing, you know.
Everyone expected Brienne to die.
Yeah.
Everyone expected Grey Worm to die. But that didn't happen.
Yeah. But I think that's what makes it special, because, like, even if you think about it right now, do you watch telly?
Yeah, as in
TV.
Television. Yeah, I mean, not really.
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm heading there.
Okay.
Do you watch Netflix, any specific shows?
Yeah, I watch Netflix.
But I think you can say that, you know, how you used to consume like content on TV and even Netflix now, it's very selective. Like the attention span is like slightly like getting smaller and smaller.
Right.
So for somebody to sit down and watch a whole episode of like Game of Thrones,
yo,
come on, bro. The writers are doing a good job,
dude.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
And even though you're pissed off,
yeah,
you're still gonna watch the next one because you're invested. That's just the truth, and that shows that they've done a good job. Whether you're I mean, I think that's the thing. Good writing will elicit any kind of reaction. If it's negative, that's good. If it's positive, that's good.
Yeah.
If you're ambivalent, if you're just like don't really care, then that's when you're failed. You know.
Yeah.
But if it can stir up a kind of emotion in you, that's not like, okay, yeah, that was really trash.
Like even if you're upset, that just means like the directors and the writers did their job.
Yeah, and the actors as well.
Oh yeah, of course.
I mean the whole crew. Like,
no.
There's a whole crew.
Most importantly, the actors.
Not most importantly.
Yeah.
Not most importantly.
I know why you're like, don't leave out the actors.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying, like, you know.
Give credit where it's like it's the whole team. It's the whole team.
Yeah,
it's the whole team.
Sure.
Even special effects. Let's not forget those guys,
man.
That you don't see behind the camera.
Man. Yeah,
exactly. So just since we're talking about like that context of just, you know, people involved in the industry and just bring all these things to life.
Yeah.
A few years ago, you were also like fortunate to be, you know, just hang around Oscars and meet all these guys. And I think after that, consistently, you've always been bumping into people who are like in mainstream, right?
Right.
Yeah, come on, not everybody gets to hang out with Snoop, bro.
No, for sure.
Come on.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, not everybody gets to do that. But what would you say is like the one thing that you've noticed like is very common in these people? Because I hear like a lot of, you know, people who are successful in either mainstream or whether it's music, whether it's acting, like they kind of like, you'd notice something to do with maybe their drive, their energy. What's the one thing that you'd say you've noticed like in a lot of people just who are in those positions like have?
I mean, I think everyone is different, man.
Different?
Yeah. I can't really say that there's something consistent that I have observed. And because also when I'm in those spaces, I'm not really like switched on in terms of, hey, let me see what I can get from this person. Whether it's like a word of advice or whatever. I mean,
I'd know what I'd want to get from Snoop.
Yeah.
Yeah,
for sure. Which, you know what I mean? Like, we're not. I'm in a casual relationship with these.
You won't be in that moment and actually just.
Like, it's not like I'm. Exactly.
That's a nice way of summarizing it, though.
Yeah.
But it makes sense because.
I mean, everyone has their own unique thing that you know. I think I guess the common thing is that there's this magnetism. You know, the people are drawn towards people because they're living life authentically. You know,
or just being themselves.
Yeah.
You don't see anybody trying too much to be.
Yeah. Totally,
okay.
Man.
And
I think authenticity is a very admirable trait and something that's not easy. It's not.
Yeah. It's
not easy to be just comfortable in who you are.
Especially like in this social media era, man.
Yeah.
Like because we can't pretend that it doesn't get to people. You see, like even so many people from like even local presenters, international people, news anchors, and everything going just through like all these little cyberbullying and just comments. Do those kind of things like get to you? Like how do you balance, let's say, your social? Yeah, let's talk social media.
Okay.
How do you just know how to detach yourself from like the bullshit when it's coming your way?
One.
Yeah.
None of it is real.
Oh yeah. Social media is a lie.
No, it's not that it's a lie. It's just not real. It tells a very, very minute part of life. You know.
Yeah.
And so, literally, the minute your phone is down, none of it is real. Like, the only thing that matters is the person in front of you. Right now, in this moment, you're the only thing that matters to me. Like, this doesn't matter. This year, it really doesn't. You know, like 140 characters or whatever it is on Twitter now, that doesn't matter. Communication is way more than words. Communication is way more than pictures.
True.
You know? And so, I know someone sending me a comment, oh, stop this nonsense.
Look at the face you're making, bro.
No, it's true though. Like, it's like, I can just picture him like,
They're upset.
Like, dude, who are you? I'm never gonna see you in my life. Why should I care about what you say? You know?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, dude, like, even, it's funny that, of course, like, when you say that in your research, you're going through my pictures and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's just what I want to tell you.
It's highlights. Just
it's
like
highlights. Exactly.
Few specific times that you just want to.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, we have to just remember that. It's a blog. It's a poster of things. It's not the whole picture. It's just like a corner of it.
Yeah.
So, that's how I just deal with it. I just like, look, don't take any of this seriously.
You don't pay attention. Do you ever get to a point where you're, like, let's say, comparing your success to anybody else's success?
We all do that.
I think.
We all do that.
We all do that?
We all do that.
Why are you speaking for other people, man?
No, but we all do that. That's just a fact. Like, we all compare ourselves at some point. You know? Whether you're consciously doing it or not is another thing.
Yeah.
We all do that.
That's
you're not responsible for your first thought, but you are for your second.
True.
When a plane passes by, like, of course you're gonna look up. But whether you keep your eyes there is another thing. So I guess the same thing. Like, if you find yourself comparing yourself to someone or whatever, in that brief second, that's a natural human thing, and we're conditioned with that. Followers, posts, number of likes. We're numbers people. That's how we work. So of course that's natural. But whether or not you stay on thinking about that, that's your responsibility. And I try not to.
Yeah, but that's why, like, now brings me to that question. Like, how do you find yourself, like, just not getting, like, submerged in that, like, just wave of constantly just, when you're doing this comparison thing, how do you detach yourself from just being, like, depressed and that? Because we're in this whole age where, like, everybody's, like, just getting stressed the fuck out because of course, social media.
Yeah, social media, the economy or whatever.
Everything.
It's tough, man.
Yeah. So how do you detach from that? I'm just trying. Like, do you?
People.
How do you? Okay, people.
Relationships, man. Like
women.
No, I mean like relating. Like actually relating. Like.
Yeah, when I say women, it's not that I say that you go sleeping out. That's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm just saying, could see how you dismiss that quick, like, yo, no, hell no.
Yeah.
There are some people who like prefer, they take it out like on exercising, meditation,
totally.
Those kind of things.
Keeping busy, not for the sake of keeping busy, but like just nourishing your soul. What are the things that bring you joy? Whether, like you said, exercising or, joining a club that does something that you're interested, like things that will just like keep your compass aligned with where you're trying to go, and stuff.
True.
Yeah.
And then another just common thing that's happening right now, and I just wanted to run it by you. Do you think like the boy child is almost being neglected right now with all this feminist movement,
the thing
women
about
empowerment
feminism
programs? Yeah.
The thing about feminism is that feminism essentially is for all. To be a feminist is to be a human being. It's not exclusively talking about women. Feminism is
yeah, some people will come out with different opinions. I'll post that snippet especially.
I mean, it's true. Feminism is about everyone. That's what women are trying to say, is that like it's just keeping women on an equal playing field with everyone. It's uplifting everyone, The same way being pro-black is to be pro-human in all these things, Being gender sensitive is to being sensitive to everyone, It's not exclusionary, it's inclusionary. I mean, at the core of it. And so I believe that the more that we just consistently show compassion for one another, and that's why I say put the phone down, dude, because none of this stuff matters. You see, the way you're speaking about this, is in very like bite-sized things, When you think about the whole ethos of these movements that are happening, that the core of them is relationships, understanding and empathizing with each other, being compassionate. That's all, Because even right now, when you take this clip or whatever that you're saying and put it completely, people will view that out of context and make a conclusion about certain things.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's fine. Like, dude, that's just the nature of the game. You know?
Yeah.
And obviously, I know you have enough compassion that you wouldn't like distort my words or whatever.
Come on, bro.
Of course. That's what I'm just saying, is that people operate in these bite-sized moments when actually it's a whole you have to take in context a whole picture. People see feminism and just see that word that's now loaded and charged with so much angst and negativity, when actually the movement itself is something that is for everyone, because to uplift women is to uplift everyone. That's just the truth.
True. And it's just because I saw this thing online, and somebody was saying like it's gotten to a point where with that misinterpretation, it's sort almost like the agenda is almost like making men not be men anymore.
What do you mean?
Like
what is it to be a man?
Making it let me find the right words, man.
Yeah, no worries.
I'm just talking in terms of, how can I explain this? Basically, that is there such a thing as men being men?
What does it mean to be a man?
Macho, man, strong.
No.
A protector and provider. Anybody comes close to the house, you smash them out and just, the archaic caveman. I mean, is that like the epitome of being a man?
No.
Because I think right now we're being softened too much.
Softened?
So, yeah, if that's the word I can use.
I mean, that's so sad that you would equate.
Yeah.
Not you personally, but just like that people would equate having empathy and connection with being soft. as if being soft is negative, you know?
Like it's not a bad thing as well.
Anything that requires you to be, you know, more connected to another human being is only an addition.
True.
Because what you're describing is very much a distancing thing, being macho, having a guard, having a gate, you know, being the protector, the provider. I mean, those are good things, but they very much so come with a wall, you know. You can be all those things while also being open. Yeah, and
that's what you see, like on Game of Thrones. If they want to portray a strong man, what kind of character would they?
But even look at John, man.
Apart
He's
from the
so empathetic.
Apart from the psychos, though, you know, there are some small exceptions where they bring out this character who's just crazy. You're like, yo, there's no way a human being is supposed to be like this.
Like who? Like Bolton, Ramsay Bolton.
Exactly. They're just those special characters. You're like, yo.
But those people exist. Those people are out there, man.
True.
Yeah, but like even look at the titular protagonist, Jon Snow.
Yeah.
A complete empathetic human being, you know, someone who's all about the people, and people now call him soft because, you know, he's not doing so and so. I mean, this entire show, even though it's extremely, like, in terms of the context and the time it's written in, very misogynistic.
Yeah.
All the heroes of that show are women.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. All the people who've constantly like come to John's, you know, like savior. You know, if you look at Ygritte way back when, if you look at Daenerys, if you look at, you know, Sansa, who's grown into herself. If you now look at Arya, these are Arya. I mean, Sansa came to at the Battle of the Bastards. Without her bringing the Knights with the Veil, Jon would have died. Arya, without her killing the Night King, he would have died. He was about to be chomad by that dragon, man. You know. So even though the show and the world in which he's living is very misogynistic, the show itself is very feminist because, you know,
if you think about it and just take a step back,
all the heroes, even Cersei, as much as we hate her, like
the most dominant ones are actually
the most dominant people in that show are actually women. Brienne of Tarth.
True. Because since we're just on that topic as well, just what are your thoughts on, like, now, like, there's just an increase in bringing awareness to toxic masculinity. Kind of. What are your thoughts on that? Is it necessary?
Absolutely. I mean, look, man, just in the beginning of this year alone, how many women in this country have been killed because of toxic masculinity? You know? That's like huge case of femicide going on right now.
True.
And that's not something that we can just not address. There has to be and that is because here's the thing, and this brings me back to the whole thing of being macho and blah blah blah. For so long, boys are told that they can't cry, that they can't show affection if it's not romantic.
Do you cry?
Of course I cry, man.
You do?
Of course.
Can you at least post something on Instagram so
about
that
me
before
crying?
So that before this episode comes out, I kind of connect to people when I'm talking about this, when I post that snippet
of me crying?
Yes.
I'm an actor, of course I cry, man. I have to be in touch with my emotions.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, you know, boys are told not to cry. Boys are told that they can't show affection if it's not romantic or violent. They can't show there's no physical contact with another human being unless it's romantic, sexual, or violent, right? And what does that manifest itself as? Pent up, right? You're told you can't cry. That is unmanly to cry. You're a human being. Of course you have to cry, you know? And so that manifests itself violently. When also
keeping it in too much.
Exactly.
I think that's why people are like just killing women now in the country, and people making fun of it.
And that's extremely sad, you know? You tell a man he can't cry and can't place all these emotions when this guy's going through all these things in a day, and then he has nowhere to put it. So what does he do? He manifests that in, hitting a woman, and that's like crazy. And so the only times you see a man showing physical contact, that's why violence and sex is so...
They're almost like,
Exactly, because in sport is the closest, and that's why sport is close, because sport is close to war. And so that's when you can see a man be emotional, crying in a football game. Holding each other, holding. But you put that outside in just the normal world, a guy can't do that to another guy. I can't hold your hand. This is seen as weird. You know, when that's so crazy. Like, we need physical contact that's not violent or sexual.
It's funny thing you've brought that up, and what was the story I wanted to say? Up country, like in the shags and everything, it's very common to
see guys holding hands.
And walking. So I remember, where was I? And also like a lot of Somali guys are comfortable, like, that's how they just show and express their emotions. Of course, for me, I went to boarding school at a very young age.
Right.
So I've just been conditioned slightly differently.
I also went to boarding school.
But I understand, because I'm aware of like how things are operating and everything. And I just know difference in cultures, people I interact with. And I think even from boarding school, I've learned like everybody is different, coming from different communities.
Yeah.
So I remembered where were we? Were we in... I think somewhere, I can't remember specifically where, but one of my friends told me that, why are those guys holding hands? Must be gay.
Wow.
And I was like, bro, come on. Just because they're holding hands, that means nothing.
Dude.
That means nothing. Come on.
And also, if they're gay, so the fuck bro?
I know
it's like the first step is, dude, they're just holding hands. Mm-hmm. Why the hell do you care? And then the second step is, okay, and so if they're gay, like, what is that an insult? Are you insulting them now?
It's because you will always get a headache if you try and start explaining these things to,
of course,
people who
have been brought up as in that way.
It's hard.
And then you're robbing, and then it's sad because you're now robbing, like, yourself. Of these opportunities by completely closing yourself off to the possibility that you can have a friend. And you know what? Sometimes the best way to express yourself is not through words or anything, but just holding the person's hand, or giving them a hug. I can't imagine going through life without me not being able to hug my male friends. That's so sad to me. How can I reserve only my hugs for my mom, my girlfriend, and my sisters, and like my female friend? Like, that's sad, man. I don't want to be friends with.
I'll give her, because here's the craziest thing. So I went to South Sudan. Sorry to cut you off. Like, no, remember I told you that totally, my chain of thought just disappears like that. Mm-hmm. So we went to South Sudan. My first time there and everything. So you see, like, first of all, I'm like a dwarf there. Everybody else is super like tall, and dark.
Even though you're like 6 foot, right?
Come on, I'm not 6. Bro.
Are you taller than me?
Maybe.
I think so.
Are we?
I mean, I'm 5'10".
Okay, I'm almost there, I guess, as well.
Okay.
Probably the same height, or I'm slightly taller.
Anyway, random.
Yeah. So in South Sudan. So first of all, I hadn't had like any interactions with like just a whole South Sudan community.
Yeah.
So first time there, eating the food is slightly different, but super nice. Mm-hmm. And then every single day, like, my client was taking me to different places to meet people, because they live in large communities.
Yeah.
Everybody I was going to say hi to, they were actually giving me a hug.
Yeah.
And talking about guys.
Yeah.
So like, I'm not used to being hugged with so many men. Like,
yeah.
By the time I was leaving that place, I was like, yo, bro, these people are showing me so much love, man.
For sure.
Like, do my friends even love me in Nairobi, first of all?
Straight up.
It was like very strange to me the first 2 days, but it's because like that's just not what I experienced but that's how like they just show love, like, yo, what's up, how are you guys? Like, they give you a hug, and then now the unfortunate part is like they're all tall, man.
Yeah.
So now in my head, I'm like, yo, now I'll just look like they am always hugging these small girls that I have, like, you know, in Nairobi.
Yeah.
It was weird first 2 days because I wasn't used to it. But you're like, I like those people are so affectionate. Even that thing of holding hands and everything, I think that's when I just remember, like, it's super common in the community.
Yeah.
Super loving, they show empathy, compassion. And that's the other thing as well. Like, they really express themselves. Yeah. And of course, when it's time to fight as well, you know, it goes down in the clubs as well.
And I think, yeah, of course. And I think the thing that can help people now, today, in like 21st century, 2019, men, you know, have more compassion, especially on an online space, is following people outside of your echo chamber. You know, following people outside of your perspective, seeking out different perspectives. You know, because all we have on our Instagrams, our Twitters, whatever, is just people who think like us.
True.
You know, and so if we make an effort to seek out other people, you know, from the margins of society, you know, people that are part of the LGBTQIA, you know, women, writers and stuff like that, academics, people, authorities, and, you know, for people who don't think like you can see the world in a different way, you know. And obviously travel is another way, obviously, like you said, to broaden your horizon.
It definitely does.
Absolutely. Because you're exposed to different cultures and you realize, wow, man, you know, there's another way to be. I don't just have to be this obstinate, you know, closed off dude, you know. And I think a part of that is men speaking to each other more. Guys don't speak.
You know, funny thing. A lot of people have been asking me, sorry to cut you off, you'll finish that. A lot of people have been asking me, like, yo, how comes you're not featured? Because when I started off, like, the podcast, not a lot of guys were coming to the platform. And then a lot of people kept on complaining, like, yo, how comes you're not featuring any guys, like, on the podcast? I'm like, yo, bro, nobody wants to come to the podcast because we're just going to have real conversations. Because now we can't talk about just tits and ass, like, for a whole 1.5 hours.
1.5 hours, man.
No, it's not possible. We need to talk about just, like, real life conversations.
Yeah.
Dreams, aspirations. And that's what, since you've mentioned that, you'll notice, like, there are a lot of women empowerment programs. They're always meeting on a weekly basis, talking about relationships, finances, career goals, and all these things.
And that's we don't.
But
talk
about men,
that.
when was the last time?
Yeah.
Like, you
actually had, you know, one of the things that, you know, how I told you I'm just here, like, trying to figure things out and stuff. But one of the things I knew that I wanted to start when I came back, and obviously this episode's coming out in December, so hopefully it's off the ground before then. But I wanted to start a book club for men.
Yeah, it would be dope. Okay, first of all, I don't read, though.
I know a lot of guys don't read. And I think that for me, I find having these sort of conversations and stuff is very difficult for guys.
It is.
But if you have something to broach that gap, like a catalyst kind of, it would really help. And so I've never heard of a book club for guys, because guys just don't read.
Yeah.
Which is like crazy. Because I'm also not an avid reader, but like reading is like the best gateway to understand someone else's perspective, you know. And so I wanted to start a book club for men, and then have that as like a springboard, like in the discussions and stuff like that, just to talk about real stuff.
Like, man, now, I mean, it's necessary.
Yeah, because like that's the thing is like guys are not talking to each other. They might talk to their girlfriends or their female friends or whatever, but guys are not talking to each other about like this real shit. Like, why the hell are we killing women, man? Why are we killing women?
We don't have to. Like, it doesn't. In fact, first of all, it doesn't make any sense.
If you buy a girl a drink at the club, dude, and she doesn't want to go home with you, that's not on you, man. Like,
there's nothing you can do, bro.
You bought her the drink. That's it. That's the end of the of the whatever. You know, it's not like a transaction. You know what I'm saying? There's no need for you to kill her. There's no need.
Yeah, true.
But it's because of all this suppressed, unpent, anger, because there's no place to put it. That's the problem.
It's very true, because if you think about it, in what social setting have you ever been, and the last time like you actually had that kind of conversation, like with a friend, like, yo, how's your girlfriend doing? Are things good about your relationships?
Yeah.
How your finances? What do you have going on business-wise?
Yeah.
Do you remember the last time you had like that kind of conversation in a social setting?
Oh, not in a social setting. I mean, I have that with my friends, you know, all the time.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Man, I need new friends, man.
You do. I can be your friend.
We are friends now. We're already friends, man.
No, but for real, like,
but it's really necessary, because like the way you've said, suppressed, and it's not there.
So would you be interested in joining my book club?
Yes.
If I started it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't like reading, but I can do, like, you know, as long as you don't have like crazy like targets, like we need to read like 60 pages, man. I don't have that thing. But they're audiobooks though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know, I was just thinking,
I can clock out like and listen to a whole.
If it's like a weekly meetup and it's like a chapter a week and then we discuss the chapter.
I think it makes sense.
That's a reasonable target, man. You know? And it's also just like commitment. I think making a commitment outside of your
regular,
work, football,
going
out, just making a commitment.
Yeah.
Is a huge thing. And I only want to do it with people who would be just like down to just make a commitment.
Yeah.
And actually have these these talks and stuff.
I remember somebody brought it up. When was it? Like, you'd find like just a group of men. You're like 7, 8, or 10 people, and you don't even realize like the power you have, because when you're there, you're just scared of being either vulnerable or just talking about something. Cause
there's so much strength in vulnerability, man.
Yeah.
So much strength.
Or you find people like, yo, like even when it comes to just any situation, like 10 great minds, but all of you just choose not to talk about something that can be beneficial to one or two of you.
Yeah.
You're seeing your friend going through something, you don't want to tell them like, yo, bro, you know, we can actually help you out, and you know, are you trying to figure this and this out? How's your music going? Do you think you can approach it this or that way? And like, it got to a point where I was saying like, I don't think even now, like, just men in general are taking each other seriously anymore.
Yeah.
And that's being painted to the kids don't take men seriously anymore. I mean, I'm not saying that a man has to be respected, like in, okay, basically we should all respect each other. But I think even now, like if you see online how people like just in general even address like our leaders. Yo, you see somebody like tweeting the president and like just trash talking them. It's like they're...
Well, it's because the president is a dumbass.
No, listen. I know, but I'm just saying...
And no, for sure.
I'm just saying we shouldn't... Because we already have like that... those differences as just men. We're still trying to figure out how we're going to play, advise each other, and just be successful. As much as, you know, not everybody, like Trump is the president in States, right?
Yeah.
And won't people have like the same opinion about him?
Of course.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, don't you see like a theme of like just men being mocked and not being taken seriously in any way?
Because we're dumb. That's just the truth. Like, it's a fact. We're stupid as hell, man. Women should run this planet. If women were in charge of things...
Hey, listen, I don't know about that.
Dude, if women went... this is my opinion. And you can differ, that's fine.
Yeah.
If women were in charge of things, things would run a lot smoother.
We'd have more order and...
Absolutely. Absolutely. 100%. Not a doubt in my mind.
It's true. Let's give it like, you know, baby steps. We might just get there. And then just... Because I know we've talked about like quite a lot. Yeah. And... There's one project that I want to ask you about, and that's Dala. Is it Dala is home?
Dala.
Dala. You have to say it like that. Dala.
Of course.
Okay.
I mean, people say Dala, but it's Dala. That's
Dala.
Yeah. Which means home in Nyong'o.
Oh, okay. So I know it's. Is it an event that you started?
Yes.
Yeah. So just something smaller. Because I remember, in fact, something crazy. Remember the last time we bumped into each other at.
You were meant to come.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I was meant to start the podcast that same weekend.
Yeah.
And I think that's what happened. I didn't make it to the event because I had my first guest that weekend.
Got it.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah. Let's talk about. Is it still ongoing?
Well, I mean, since I left, it hasn't.
Okay.
Yeah. So Dala is an event that I started for up and coming and semi-established independent musicians, acoustic musicians, just to give them a platform to to perform for a larger crowd. Yeah. So it's for the artists by the artists, just like not in your traditional like pop. Or just like your popular music kind of thing. Mainly was supposed to be a small intimate gig for musicians to be able to connect with an audience. And so I held 3 last year between July and December, and they're all really successful in their own rights. And so obviously because it's something that I was doing personally since I left to go do my play, I haven't done any.
But now, are you planning to do?
Yeah,
I mean, just not do another one. Like just put the way you asked me, about team.
Yeah.
So that, because you see here, you are introducing people to this whole new gig, and you know how Kenyans love those gigs, right? Like once they start getting accustomed to it, and here Junior just goes back to the States. Now you're like, no more dollar for us.
Yeah.
We can't just start feeding people like something and then to disappear. Are you planning to put structures in play so that even though you're not there presently, you can just at least keep people even those artists though. I'm sure they liked the vibe and they were looking forward to more performances.
Yeah. And I mean, here's a tricky thing. It's you need time to establish something in a way that now when you leave it, the people who continue it have your vision in mind. You need time to establish that, and I just haven't had that time because I was in here for 6 months, and so
time or people
and time because they need to really see how your brain works. And so I think I'll only do another one because of what you said, how you've gone and then it's just stopped, So I don't want to do another one and then keep people's I only want to do another one,
get people hooked and then cut them off.
I want to do another Dala event when I am certain everything, all the things are in place for it to flourish without me. Because it needs to always be at the standard that I've set it at.
Like you said, and if the vision is yours,
exactly.
Anybody else you're bringing in has to have almost the same mindset, or at least just that's where they're heading.
And doing events in Nairobi is so it's an extreme sport, man.
Facial expression, man. You're supposed to be a good actor. You can actually have a face where expressing something else, even when you say you're just it's sad. It's what's crazy about setting up from your personal experience.
Many things. Just getting people to be reliable. People are not reliable in this city.
True. You see why you've asked me. I am always moving around doing everything on my own. You'd find me doing setup. Even if it's extra lighting, I'd hire a company to bring in the lighting. I'd set up that shit alone because I'm just I'm really it can be exhausting, especially when you just want to focus on the craft.
Yeah, man.
Why can't I just focus on the craft?
And then all the other things people do it.
Yeah, like
but people
they
are
do.
So unreliable.
And you know what the funny thing is?
Yeah.
It's you asking them to do what they actually do every other day. Yeah, they had one job to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not easy, and it's also not easy, like just getting that team that will give you that comfort even when you're not there.
Yeah.
So baby steps when it comes to that.
Yeah, baby steps. There's no rush.
Another quick one, just before we come to almost like the end of wrapping up this podcast, because we've talked for quite some time. What's your relationship status?
What's my relationship status? I prefer not to speak about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So your girls, slide in that DM if you want.
No.
No, don't. Okay, please don't. Because I always ask, because if you've seen like the whole theme of the podcast, it's always about the 4 pillars of life.
For sure.
And
I mean, I am in a relationship, but I just prefer not to speak about it publicly.
Oh yeah, not put it out there.
Yeah.
Oh, Kenyans love being invested in people's relationships.
Yeah, and I just think...
You don't want to include other people in your relationship?
No, I don't.
Not at this time. And okay, would you say you're more, as a creative, would you say you're more productive, like let's say when you're in a relationship, or when you're single, you seem to be like more vibrant with more crazy ideas, or how does it work for you as a creative?
That's interesting. It's been a while since I've been single, so
if you can remember, like your art process, is it affected in any way? Is it more rich, or is it just
I think
like
it's richer. It's richer. I mean, I'm with a creative person, and so having a soundboard to bounce off ideas and I don't know, just supplement your artistic process is awesome. Having just like a partner in crime. Yeah.
And that's why I was also planning to ask, like, if you're dating, is it easier just dating somebody who's in kind of like your industry or outside your industry? Because at times,
for sure,
if you're dating, like, let's say a banker, and they're seeing you like in all these night themed, like probably events, interacting with so many people, that's not like the same kind of lifestyle that they're used to. So they might not understand, or even if you take them somewhere, they're not fitting in properly.
Everyone is each person responds to different things. For me, I know I have to be with someone who is creatively inclined.
So no for bankers.
I mean, I'm not saying no, but like just no. Yeah.
It won't be like your cup of tea.
No.
That's interesting. And just when you think about it, like right now, in just life in general, what's the one thing that you'd say you're seeking right now? And if you like, let's say, got it, it will give your life like more meaning, purpose.
That's a great question.
Or happiness.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's that one thing you think you're in pursuit of right now?
Oh, wow. There's many ways to answer this question. There's answering it with a very really cerebral way that really doesn't make tangible sense. Like, I'm in pursuit of peace of mind. Or something like that. And then there's like in a very, very literal sense.
Why are you saying it like that, bro?
I don't know. And there's answering in a very literal sense can come across as really superficial, like, yo, dude, I'm seeking $100,000, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's an interesting question, because I haven't really thought about that, and I guess that's food for thought. What am I seeking that would give my life meaning?
We have time, and I've just emptied the memory card. If you wanna just take a minute and think about it,
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think at times we tend to forget that, like even just like maybe let's say on social media, when people are following you, or you're following somebody, at times you always like maybe you'd see a pattern of something they're chasing. There are people who are chasing like just let's say money. somebody who just wants to have like their first kid, their firstborn.
Yeah.
And that would give their life like a whole different.
You know what though? I think I do know.
Yeah.
I really want a puppy, man.
A puppy.
I think taking care of a little dog will give me some meaning.
Let me see if I have my friend online right now. What's her name?
I can't afford one right now.
But so, that would be something.
Yeah, I'm not saying right now I want, because I can't afford one, and that would just not be.
Even just from her post.
Gosh. Oh my god. It's so cute.
There you go.
And look at that.
Yeah.
Adorable.
So maybe you're talking of space and time, right?
Yeah.
Space and time, because I think for when it comes to a puppy,
like in the next 5 years, I really want a puppy.
Okay.
I want a Havanese. Have you heard of Havanese?
No. What's?
Let me get you a picture.
Is it a small dog or big dog?
It's a small dog. It's a baby and tiny dog. It's the cutest thing I've ever had.
You won't have to spend a lot of money on food, because like the rotis and the barbells and like all these other big dogs, man, I hear like when it comes to food.
I know.
They eat. Oh, that's a nice.
It's adorable.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, where do you get this, bro? This you can't get it in Kenya, can you?
You can.
Are they there?
Yeah. I mean, but like, that's if I'm living here. But.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But.
Oh yeah. Okay.
But you can get them. Yeah. Obviously, you can get them in the States or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that would be interesting.
Yeah. Any specific reason? It will just give you.
I don't know. Like, I think animals really give me a lot of joy.
Yeah.
You know, and being responsible for something like that is awesome.
Yeah. Because I get it's almost
like obviously, and I do want to be a father at some point in my life. Right now, that's not what I'm thinking about, but you know, because yeah.
Okay, interesting. So I think we've just touched base on like almost everything, and you know, is there anything else you have going on that you'd want to plug on the podcast before we wrap it up? Considering when it's gonna come out.
Okay. True.
Yeah.
Not really.
No? You wanna wish people happy holidays?
Yeah, happy holidays, man. I mean, we're probably, even though we're recording this now, I'm probably gonna release, because it's like a tradition. Yeah. Every year, me and my girlfriend do a Christmas carol on YouTube.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll probably do that. Okay. So you know, look out for our Christmas carol. Yeah.
And that's perfect.
Happy holidays.
Because the timing is perfect. Because it's gonna come out during that.
Okay.
That week. Yeah. So okay, guys, happy holidays.
Yeah, happy holidays. This has been Nyong'o. On the decks, you can call me Freesia Flow.
Where did you get that name? Where did you get that name?
Freesia Flow?
Yeah.
This just came to me, man. I love flowers, and I think freesia is a beautiful flower, and I needed something that captures my vibe, you know. So Freesia Flow.
Is that what's on your Instagram? Is that the flower? Is it this?
No, that's a hibiscus.
I don't even know about flowers, man. How do you take time and start? Did you study that or just
no? I mean, it's definitely something that I would love to study. Like, you know, I'd love to have just, you know, like how people are winos.
Yeah.
Know a lot about wine.
Yeah.
I would love to just know a lot about flowers, man.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's a whole other segment for different podcasts, because you know.
Yeah. Maybe I should start a podcast about flowers. Would people be interested in that? I don't think so.
Oh, listen. No. Think about, is there any other podcast you've had?
Well, you see, yeah, I don't know. I don't think so. But, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know.
Like, it would be dope to do like a show about flowers and walk around a place like.
We have like some of the biggest exporters of rose flowers as well.
That's
in
true.
Kenya.
That's true.
Yeah.
Be cool.
You can have conversations with the top honchos when it comes to this. So together with something that, I mean, it's there like on your Instagram.
Yeah.
Clearly. Hey, what if we talked about this and this ended up being like a podcasting that you're doing?
Who knows?
Ooh, interesting. Yeah. So yeah, that's it, guys. I think we've come to the end of the podcast. It's been amazing having you here. Thanks for actually just taking time to come and sit down, have this conversation, man.
Yeah.
I really have a lot of respect on how like you just maneuver, and I just see you flourishing into something like you. I'm just glad I had this conversation with you like, way ahead of time.
Cheers, man.
Yeah.
For sure.
So guys, it's the Kiss Podcast on all platforms: YouTube, Instagram, iTunes, Spotify, and also now on Android, Castbox.
Nice.
It's been real. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for
Till
having
next
me.
time. Goodbye. Yo.